Nightmare Paranormal were documenting a specific case. The family we were filming at states that a man is haunting their adopted daughter. She hears him and sees him all of the time. There's also a spirit of a child. The hauntings are now affecting the parents. The mom can now hear the spirit respond to questions they ask. The dad hears the voices of his wife and daughter when they are not home. Somehow, it's a case of mimicking. A demonic presence will do that. So this is pretty terrifying, isn't it? Let's take a look at their capture. It almost appears that something small is walking by the doorway. Can we be sure? Of course not. Is it maybe just an artifact of the camera? Hard to say, but with all that history, who knows, maybe it is something from another realm. This video stems from Diane, the canning Nana, and she shared it with the internet because apparently she caught something really terrifying one night. In general, she posts videos about cooking and traveling. She starts explaining in her description. So, totally unrelated to any content I have ever done. We found this today on our living room camera at 2 AM in the morning. Very clearly a woman. Even Noah, our cat, saw her. You can see his eyes near the end of the video. I'm sensitive to feeling spirits of family members. I've been saying for months I feel a spirit here I do not recognize. You tell me what you all think. To us it looks like an older woman with long hair. Whatever is roaming through the living room seems to be a pretty small statue. Do you see the shape of a lady? Whatever it might be. If it's not a member of the family, it must have been a terrifying discovery. In the following video, we have TikTok user Daniela, who is telling us about a CCTV recording that her parents have captured. The camera is located above the entrance to the basement. Strange noises at night had caused them to keep this area under surveillance. This particular night, an unexplainable object seems to be noticeable.
So my parents think that their basement's haunted, and then they caught this on camera. What is that? What is that?
This looks pretty odd, doesn't it? Almost as if a face is coming through the door slit, which is impossible, of course. Other people even pointed out that they see one of the entity's eyes. And then it just vanished. Very curious. What's your explanation? The following was a live stream recording that Melisa Simic, a man from Croatia, shared on his Facebook page at the time. He was traveling a few months ago and decided to venture to an old graveyard situated in the Alps. He stated that inexplicable noises were the reason at first why he was drawn further into the graveyard. And he didn't expect anything out of the ordinary really, but he made out two scary looking figures up a little hill.
Ne znam da li je moguće, ne znam da li ste vidli, ili mislim možda što sam sam ovde, kao da mi se učinilo. Ne znam da ste vidjeli, molim vas, zavratite. Ništa se ne vidi. Čini mi se kao da je mrdnulo malo. Ovo mrdnulo.
He thought that this might have been angels at first, perhaps, and describes the figures pretty mist-like. They were moving their arms quite weirdly, and he also swears that these were no statues. People on the internet state that they look pretty malevolent, almost like angels of death. In the end, we cannot be certain what exactly we are seeing here, but I find it's quite the terrifying image. What do you think? Just statues? Or is something else going on here?
The following video was sent by Gregory, and he tells me that he found it in a paranormal thread on Reddit. Apparently it was captured by a couple who went on a nice vacation together. After a long flight and a well-deserved meal, both of them decided that a little rest would be a good idea. The lady that was recording with her cell phone stated that her fiancé took a little nap while she was documenting their hotel room for friends and family. Shortly after starting the video, she thought that she saw something out of the corner of her eye. Before a creepy head is coming out of the closet area, there seems to be a woman standing in it. Coincidence? A skit, perhaps? It is unexplained what exactly was going on here, or why the lady was focusing so much on filming her fiancé in bed at the end. A pretty spooky recording nevertheless, though, isn't it?
The following video was shared by user Beats by Richie. Richie is a young aspiring music producer, and he mostly shares his creative work on his very own profile. Today, however, we want to check out a recording that Richie described as quite unusual and terrifying. The video was recorded one evening by his girlfriend, and they both were spending the night watching movies and talking about life. The clip starts with Richie relaxing on the bed, and just a brief moment before the short video ends, this appears on video.
Damn, are you checking yourself out? Come on.
A creepy head is visible in the right top corner of the screen, a head of somebody that was not accounted for. It is safe to say that the two were spending the evening alone, so after seeing this, the couple suspected that they might have caught something from another plane, a ghost perhaps. What else could this have been? It does not look like an arm or a body part, making this sighting even more creepy. Do you think they captured something paranormal that night?
Luke has sent me the next video, and it was recorded by a paranormal investigator called David Rojas in a rural town in Mexico. Apparently he was investigating a case of a haunting in an alley that was haunted by a spirit of a child, which has been seen by several homeless people in the area. Other people say that she also can be seen roaming the streets at night.
Notice how transparent and mist-like apparition is crossing the screen from the right towards the left side. What do you see? Could it be a female spirit? Is it a child? Maybe some other strange anomaly even. If we go by height alone, I would say it looks like an adult spirit. But I might be wrong. Let me hear what you guys think.
The next video was sent by Andrea, and she tells me that it was captured by two friends who went on an urban exploration one night. Apparently it was a really old and derelict building, which was situated right next to a graveyard. The two men were interested in the paranormal, however, never had any run-ins or encounters with the other world, and it wasn't until they had returned home that they saw something on their video recording that seemed off. Yes, when this incident occurred, the man recording thought he saw something. Well, let's take a look at the video that sets in while the two were exploring the empty hallways. It would appear that a head is peeking out next to the doorframe once the men make it past. A strange encounter for sure. A lot of theories about what we could be looking at here. Some say it looks like the head of a female. Others say it might be something completely different. In my opinion, possibly we're looking at something that might not be real in the end. Would you agree? Just a prank or a smart video edit perhaps? Let me know.
I'm sure that some of you have heard about Frank the Caber and his channel exploring abandoned mines in unusual places. He's quite famous for his ghostly encounter in the Horton mine. And it all started with him exploring this old ore mine, when all of a sudden some ghostly activity unfolded.
I don't know why that one chain is swinging back there. Don't know if you can see that in the video or not. Yeah, this mine definitely has a very spooky vibe to it. So I'm going to head back out and check out the other stuff that's here. This is just too wet and too muddy. And obviously something is making the chains swing, so.
Chains that were moving completely on their own. It made Frank uneasy, and he wanted to find out more about this mysterious cave, so he returned a few weeks later, and after another tour through the abandoned cave, captured some more inexplicable stuff.
Almost a foot in diameter, the big cross timber, so they had to put big ones in here to hold up all of this rock. You can see right here where some of these boards are bending. Do you hear that? Sounds like, what, is that wind? I don't know if you can hear that on the camera. Do you hear that? It stopped. Well, I don't know what that is. That doesn't sound like wind, but that's crazy. Don't know if that's a bird or I don't know what that is. It almost sounds like snakes, but
Isn't that simply terrifying? Even more impressive is what he could come up with in the Black Widow mine.
what do you suppose that was? A water tank or something? Okay. Came across this noose here in the intersection in the mine. Tunnel going that way and that way. And then here's the noose tied to a beam way up there.
Are we getting a glimpse of an unidentified creature, person, or entity watching Frank? This footage also never has been fully explained, but his fans are sure that something was lurking at our brave explorer here, and then vanishing into the pitch-black cave tunnels. The next video comes to us from South Korea, from a user called Tuxedo Brother. Tuxedo states that he is a paranormal psychic and visits many supposedly haunted locations on his channel in an attempt to communicate with spirits. In this particular video, Tuxedo is visiting an old house that has been left abandoned for many years. The house is in complete disrepair and pitch black, definitely creepy. Apparently, there had been quite a bit of paranormal activity here in the past, so Tuxedo was hoping to be able to hear from some of the spirits there. Although he doesn't seem to get a response from anything in the house, he does manage to get this interesting capture. While Tuxedo is filming a hallway, he suddenly notices movement in the doorframe to the right. When he zooms in, we can see that a large claw-like hand is reaching out from the dark room. The cameraman notices this as well and checks the room out. But it is totally empty, without anywhere for someone to hide. This must be paranormal capture, right? Or do you think there's another explanation? Pretty unsettling. The following video was uploaded by user Bunnytoes. She states the following. Unknown voice, unknown entity. A couple of years ago, I gave my old iPhone SE to my grandkids. They like to take a bunch of pictures and videos, so I went through it to delete stuff to make sure they have space. I was going through their phone on Christmas Eve 2018 when I came across this video. This video shook me to the core though. After 2 years, this still creeps me out and I still think about this almost every day.
Let's change your butt. You smell like you poopy.
What do you guys think? Could they capture the spirit of their grandma here? Or was something else visiting from another realm? Maybe even a shadow person? The next really unsettling clip has been shared by Sue LCR94 and it appears to feature a creepy looking thing that was positioned behind her husband while he was holding their baby. All of this was documented by their baby monitor, and when Sue realizes what got captured, she decided to share it with her audience.
So my husband's rocking the baby to sleep, and does anyone see this creepy figure on the floor behind them? What is that? It looks like there's like legs and arms and a head. What?
Let's take a closer look at that sighting. What are we working with here? Well, the first thing that pops to mind is just smudge on the lens. But is it really? Other viewers of hers pointed out that it could also be the spirit of a dog, which of course is also likely, if it is paranormal after all. What do you see in that apparition? Is it anything paranormal? Or are we looking at something else here?
The next clip was recorded by a driver one night who was on his way home and was taking a local highway. He didn't notice anything out of the ordinary up until this point, but when the incident occurred, he saw a dark flickering object just standing in the middle of the road. An object that had human-like features based on his reports, and it becomes quite apparent that even the other drivers saw it too. It is not that easy to make out, but you can actually see the outlines of a shadow person that just appears on the road, and the cars are doing their best to avoid impact, making them swivel quite a bit, especially the car on the left. What's weird is that the cars in front don't seem to react all that much. Maybe that's because this thing appears right after the cars in the front have passed it. The driver says that he did not see anything up until he was about to hit this thing, making him believe that it could have been an actual spirit that manifested. Could this be so? How else could anybody end up on the middle of the road like that? Strange. The next clip was uploaded by the channel UFOs and Mysterious Creatures. There's not a lot of information available on the origin of the clips. However, it's clear it was taken late at night in the forest. The cameraman was filming for reasons unknown. Perhaps to use the flash to illuminate their path. Regardless of the reason, the cameraman caught far more than just trees that night on camera. As the camera pans to one of the trees, a strange creature can be seen clinging to the trunk. The figure is a strange brown-gray color with red eyes and a weirdly shaped head. What do you believe this could be? This odd creature clearly startles the cameraman, who pans away quickly and can be seen running away from the area. It's possible this could be a monkey or another creature, but something about this sighting is just extremely creepy, from the strange head to the glowing eyes. What is your idea? Paranormal? A creature? Or something completely different? A video that was shared by Rick, and he told me that he found it on Reddit. Apparently, a car without an owner is passing by the exit when the security guard is getting the spook of his life. He thinks this is a prank at first and walks around the car to see what is going on. A not further explained apparition seems to be coming from the back of the car, just floating above it and freaking the man out, making him flee the scene. It is said that it was never explained what exactly transpired that night. If it wasn't a hoax, which I think is very likely, it could be something most of us would never understand. This next video was uploaded and recorded by user Filthy Valentine. He took this video at an abandoned house close to his neighborhood. About the house, he wrote that he had kept hearing about a haunted house located in the forest above the town. He wrote that it took a while to get to the exact location, but eventually he was able to figure it out, and this video is his first exploration of the building. Based on the exterior, it seems that this building has been abandoned for a very long time, based on the state of disrepair the house is in. There's graffiti, plants growing indoors, and trash littered all over the property. Regardless, Valentine continues to explore the property. As he's making his way through the outside, he catches a glimpse of something in one of the windows. A white face can be seen in the right side of the window. It's quite small on the screen, but you can clearly see the outlines of eyes, a nose, and a mouth. The skin is far too white to be just a person in the window, right? As Valentine makes his way through the rest of the house, the figure is nowhere to be seen. What do you guys make of this sighting? Could this be paranormal related, or was it just a trick of the eye?
The following paranormal events have been documented by Franco Bonifacio, who appears to be a model from Argentina. He states in one of his first Instagram stories that he was playing a game with friends one night. It all started with a wall piece moving on its own one day, and the following night he documented these events live while talking to a friend.
Tipo sola, no hizo otra cosa. Amigo, ahí lo hizo de vuelta. Yo cagazo lo que de esto, de verdad. Tipo, supuestamente habíamos hecho todo bien. No era porque pasó algo raro en... Ah, no, amigo, anda acá.
What follows next is when Franco can capture furniture moving and even some light anomalies for the first time. Here he was woken up by loud breathing noises at night, stemming from the other side of the door. And he also believed to see a little shadow. The house of his family has several CCTV cameras set up, and they have recorded something even more mysterious that night. It is also said that he felt an immense chest pain, which had him hospitalized for the following days. Strange. Franco didn't even notice that something was up until a friend of his told him to take a closer look. Is it a tall shadow figure peeking in on him? What's also interesting is the fact that several electronic devices just started to malfunction or glitch once in a while. But a really inexplicable occurrence took place during the day, when one of their home trainers was being used by an unseen force.
Somebody was downstairs ringing the doorbell, but the doorbell camera decides to shut off for some reason. Here, Franco states that he checked the camera after hearing the elevator, and that an object was being moved around in the hallway. Can you see the face? Does it belong to an evil being that he summoned up that night? Unexplained night anomalies, as well as other curious events, keep taking place. After a couple of days, the activity then seems to get even stronger, with the CCTV camera recording violent attempts to open the door in the midst of night. Next, Franco posts a selfie, and maybe what appears to be another shadow figure in the back. Then, one of the following nights, he can capture a voice that seemed to be moaning. Of course, Franco does not know where it could stem from. On another phone call, his friend captured the activity this time as well. And it only got worse from there. The shadow is now seen on an almost daily basis, probably not a good sign. And something seems to have left these marks on the walls of the house. Mysterious. One of his last documented captures so far is the one of the shadow figure standing right behind him while he was on a live stream for his fans. Well, his case is still ongoing. What do you think?